income, our income looks like it's gonna be down about $140,000. I know it only says 60 in there, but $80,000 of that was a one-time income from the electric power board payback, where we had been charged for power in excess. And that $80,000 the mayor has designated that to use for the batting cages that people have been so adamant about having. That would be used for baseball and softball. The incentive bonus that you so graciously did back during this year, that has reduced salaries. We've had a lot of, how many we had?
We had 10 out of the 20 who were eligible, and I was going to miss, Monday night I'm presenting, I have done a poor job of recognizing those employees who have 25 years of service, through these when they retire. So I had some plaques made up to present to them just as a token, but we had 10 of the 20 who were eligible to take the buyout. So at least one of those we will not replace, and we haven't replaced, and then that's the building inspector. They had 3 in that department. We're going to leave it at 2. We will promote a chief building inspector, but we'll keep that down to 2 employees instead of 3. So and there might have been one more in the police department, I think, that we're just holding off on for right now. So but anyway, but it was 10 out of 20, which was pretty good, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So that's reduced some of our salaries, because those people were the higher paid individuals. They were at the top of the scale. You will notice in the budget there is very limited capital budgets. We have actually appropriated to the fire department $20,000, $66,000 to the police department, $36,000 to the sanitation, $1,000 to the airport, and the RecCom had $114,500, of which $80,000 of that is the batting cages. We first started working with Blue Cross Blue Shield about 2 months ago. When I initially got the information from Blue Cross Blue Shield, they were going up on us at a rate of 10%. Which we, at the present time, furnish our employees with 100% of the single coverage for Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is very, very gracious in this day and time in city government. I know that some of the other cities and towns around here have started asking their employees to pay Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. But at this point in time, we have not asked the employees to do that.
And we're not going to.
Right.
They didn't want you to think was fixing to drop the hammer.
We negotiated with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We took a couple of benefits and worked on those. One of the benefits that we worked on was the drug program. At present time, employees can go to the drugstore for generic drugs. They pay $15, and for the name brands, they pay $40 and $60. The 60 is the more uncommon drugs that are. We've increased that to, we left the 15 for the generics, but we increased the name brands to 60 and 75. And then the other part was the out-of-pocket maximum. The out-of-pocket maximum at the present time was $1,850. With the Obama plan that came into effect, a lot of Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance that is obtained by companies, they were at a $6,350 out-of-pocket maximum for the single person. Our plan also had that you had to meet 3 of those maximum deductibles, which would have been $1,850 times 3. Now, with the proposal that we have, there's only 2 of those that that you would have to meet for a total of $13,700. Along with that, Blue Cross had made a change to where that previously in the out-of-pocket maximum, none of the deductibles that the employees paid went toward that out-of-pocket maximum. If you went to the hospital, our plan is that you have to pay $200 for day 1 through 5. That $200 deductible would not have gone toward that out-of-pocket maximum. With the new plan, anything that you have, if you have drugs and you pay $15, that goes toward it. If you go to the doctor and you pay $35, which that's what they pay $35 for your general physicians and $50 for a specialist. Those items go toward the out-of-pocket maximum. Or if they go to the hospital, those things go toward it too. So with that proposal, we went back to the Blue Cross Blue Shield underwriter and proposed that we have a rate hold. And they agreed that at this time we would have a rate hold. So we're paying $390 per individual for Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance with dental insurance also.
So that's a long way from 10%. And Rick had worked real hard on this, that even with those changes, it got it down to like a 2% increase, correct? And so he asked them Friday, all right, since we're this close, can you just give us what we had last year? And so they did. They notified us today. But what he said about the employees paying part of it, that's very important to me, that we don't have to make our employees do. And that's, so if you get a complaint that my co-pays have gone up or this or that, the other, our choice was to either do that or make them start contributing to the insurance premium on themselves. So, yeah, but the ones who are using it is the one who's facing the increase, not the people who every day who may not use it just for their general coverage. So, if you get any questions about it, I mean, that's where we're at every year. We can play with the co-pays a little bit, or we just have to go getting it out of their pockets, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to do that. So that's why we kind of arrived at where we're at today.
Question.
It's been a painful process, if I'm not sure.
Do we still use that consultant that we used?
Yes.
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 What did he do? Sound like you did a little.
Well,
No, he helped.
I'm giving Rick too
Yeah.
much credit
Yeah.
probably, but
It wasn't all me.
it was them work. It was mostly. I mean, the other guy knew where to go looking for it at, and he got it down for us. And Rick is the one who just sent the email who said, "Will you consider just giving us a break even?" Right.
Was he in here too?
He hasn't given me an amount of what he has asked for, but I think last year was $4,000 or $5,000 is all that his part was.
So how are we gonna?
No. Last
It'll
year
be in the
it was-
final.
Last year it was nothing because he didn't save us anything last year. This year it'll be like
You'll make up for last year, because he's got churches.
Well, no, it's based on what he saves us.
no, it'll
Yeah,
be
I know.
like
That's what I'm
30%
saying.
of
Depends on what he
30% of
saves.
2%.
Yeah, I
So
know. I'm just-
it's not
I'm
going to
just
be
messing
much
with you.
at all.
It'll be in the final budget, though. We'll make sure you know how much it is.
But the $390 per month per person, right?
Mhm.
Is that, like, do they just have single coverage, or can they have family
They
coverage?
can have family, but they have to pay for that.
They- they
This is
have-
on the single coverage.
Like, we would pay them the $390 for them,
And then,
if
yeah.
they want to do their family,
Which
they would
is
have to pay.
What, roughly
The
$700?
total family
Yeah.
coverage is $1,085.
That's what I,
Which
right,
they
exactly.
$390 off.
They get $390 off that, so
Okay,
they're gonna pay $600.
600, almost $700.
Why do we have a half a dozen who have family coverage? It's not very many.
see, I pay $65 a month, Blue
I
Cross.
know.
Single- I mean, I know.
I know, but.
You have to look at what I do versus what they do too, but still.
How much does the
The
your company
families.
pay it though?
What,
How much does your company pay for it?
they pay $65.
No, that's what you pay, right?
No, the bank pays
It costs them $65 for a
$5 a
family
month for
coverage.
single.
Okay.
Families, like $500 and something
Okay.
dollars a
Oh,
month.
okay.
That's why I was asking,
Yeah.
because I knew the
I
family
got you.
coverage, and I was trying to figure out what we were doing.
Well,
Single, $390. I
you know,
mean,
a couple of years ago, a lot of cities went to that, to making the employees pay $100 a month, and that's definitely taking money out of their pockets.
Right.
But it is too the other way, but those only who are using it. So, I mean, that, again, if you get asked that,
Yeah, I would never
that's a good,
say that they should have to pay anything,
I agree.
because I understand how hard it is.
One other area is our retirement. The retirement increased 0.5% this year, so it went up from like 1335 to 1385, something like that. And we've been fortunate for the past few years that we've not had a whole lot of workers' comp claims. So that helps us with our experience mod. The experience mod is you take all the salaries and you multiply it times 1. Ours is 0.94, so we pay less than on the experience mod. About 3 or 4 years ago, our experience mod was 1.28. So the employees have done a good job in being safe, not having any work related injuries. Last thing that I want to mention here in the beginning is these are not final budget, so I would appreciate it if y'all would just keep those to yourself. Don't furnish the information to the press or anything like that, because if they go print it and it's not a final budget, then people will get this or that out there. So I'll furnish anybody, whoever wants, a copy of the final budget after that you passed it.
We'll have a copy for on Monday night, though, right? Or before, after we finish this process, then he'll give you one for you to consider for adopting in 2 weeks. And there's not a cost of living raise in this one.
Yeah, it's open record. I mean, anybody can come by and get a copy of it when it can.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
When it's passed.
After it's passed, they can.
Yeah.
Sure. The first part of it is the revenues, second, page number 2. Actually, I numbered the pages for you, Keith, this year. Page number 2, 3, and 4 is the income. What that I would ask you to look at is the requested budget, the proposed budget, if you want to compare numbers to what that the department heads have asked for and what that the proposal. If you look back on the first page, page number 1, the requested budget, when the income was added up and the expenditures, we started out with a deficit of $2,685,000. And of course, the department heads, they want all the bells and whistles that they can get, and they ask for everything under the moon. So you have to go back and you have to compromise with them. But if you want to look through the revenue there, and if you have any questions, our sales tax this year is about what it was last year. We haven't seen an increase. There's a small decrease. So when I budget,
Less than 1%.
when I budget conservatively. I don't want to budget $8,900,000 when I know that the sales tax is only going to be 8.3. I've never done that. We've always had a balanced budget. We've always, and that's one thing that we have done over the years, is that we have increased the bottom line for the city and the financial statements. They look very, very pleasing to any of these guys that are investors.
The other thing it lets us do, if our sales tax goes up, that we can revisit it in April and look at, what more capital outlay or whatever, so.
But you'll see most of the items that was last year, it's about the same as it was last year. The only increase that we have that is a substantial increase is the garbage collection fees. Back several years ago, the council initiated like a 2.5% increase every year in the garbage collection fees. Our garbage collection fees were probably the lowest in the state of Alabama. We'll look through that. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Is that see, I'm finding it just now. Goose Pond CC Tower Rental, isn't that company that rented that tower on the backside of the Civic Center?
Yes.
Yes.
How come we
and,
don't get anything this year?
They sold that tower to AT&T, and I have tried to contact the people from AT&T. I got word about 2 weeks ago that they were not using those cell towers like that anymore. It's just, it's not like a big cell tower that's,
Yeah, I knew it was
it's
small.
out there. It's just an antenna
Have
on
they
the
taken
back.
it down?
Mr. Kinnemer sent him a letter, isn't he? Or-
We actually disconnected the power to it.
I was gonna say, that's what I'd say.
Okay.
And that was done about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and we haven't heard anything from them, so.
You probably didn't cut nobody off, man.
Probably not.
But wasn't Mr. Kinnemer talking? to
Mr.
you?
Kinnemer is supposed to be sending them a letter. There is a contract, so he's sending them a letter telling them that they're in breach of the contract and requesting the money they pay us. But if I'm not gonna get it, or I think that I'm not gonna get it, I'm not gonna put that income in here.
What's that so much? I guess my house
We don't really have a whole lot of sales of alcohol. I mean, it depends on who that you have down there that rents the place. So, yeah.
is that because of traffic, maybe?
That's what I actually look, well, no, this baseball mostly is the fees that you get for, kids buy their uniforms. So when they sign up, they pay $40, $50, whatever it is over there. And this is actually looking back at last year, what that we had actually collected from last year.
I know soccer, but there was like 78 kids that signed up for fall soccer.
And that's why you see a little increase there. It's probably, it was, what we collected this past year is more than,
Kids club?
Kids Club, yeah.
It's 10.
it just depends on who brings their kids to during the summer.
That changes from day to day.